Hello, everyone. This is Mary again. Welcome to episode 12 of Keto Coach. This week, I'm going to talk about two different things. Several different things. But one thing I'm going to do is answer some more questions that I get people messaging me a lot, or that we see online a lot at our group, Ketogenic Success. And then I'm going to address something that is mentioned commonly about living the ketogenic lifestyle. And I'm just going to give my opinion about that because we all know I love to give my opinion. Okay, so some frequently asked questions. One thing that I get asked a lot is if someone goes dairy free, what do I eat? If I can't eat dairy, what do I eat to get my fat? Well, you can have avocados, you can have coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, cook with those things. As far as, you could have pork belly, which is a great fatty meat and lower in protein. So if you need to get some fat in, but you also need a little bit of protein and don't want to go over, pork belly is a great choice. Also, some sources of fat that aren't dairy, bacon, fatty cuts of meat, nuts. You do have to be careful with the nuts because the carbs and the protein on those can add up quickly because people tend to not, weigh out or measure out one serving. So I would suggest if you do eat nuts to don't eat them freely, make sure you weigh and measure. So you can do keto without dairy or with very little dairy. It's possible. Okay, another question I get is if I travel a lot, how can I do keto? I find traveling in keto really simple. Most of the hotels that I've stayed at when I've gone on my road trips have, the free breakfast. The majority of them have boiled eggs or scrambled eggs. They have sausage or bacon. Sausage isn't always my first choice, but if you want a little bit of meat in the morning, that's a good choice. And they usually have the cream cheese packets that go with bagels. So don't eat the bagel, but you could, put the cream cheese on your eggs, or you could just eat a little package of the cream cheese. And there's always ice water. Usually unsweet tea. Restaurants, this is what I find I don't understand when people get, confused by, eating at a restaurant, especially, you go to a sit down restaurant, you can tell the waitress or the waiter what you want. You can ask questions and they can go ask the kitchen. And I've heard plenty of stories about people who the kitchen has totally done something custom for them to meet their dietary needs. I've done that before. I've said, look, there's nothing really on your menu that I want, but here's what I do want. Can you do that for me? And I'll pick a bunless burger and I'll, have them put, everything I like on it. And then I'll ask them, what is their seasonal vegetables? I'll ask for that on the side. I'll ask for a thing of melted butter that I can dip things into. It's really simple to eat out. If you travel and you eat out a lot, eating keto at restaurants is really simple. There's always meat. You can always order burgers without the buns. You can get salads without croutons. You can ask for dressing on the side. And then always, always, always look up the nutritional information before you eat. I can't say how many times I've seen someone say, oh, we went out to dinner and afterwards when I was logging my food, I looked it up and it was 37 carbs. Well, the lesson there is to look it up before you eat it. And then you won't have any, carb or sugar surprises. So anyway, traveling on keto. And then if you need to bring things in the car, things that travel well in a cooler, boiled eggs, cheese sticks, those aren't my first choice for meals. But if you're on the road, when I travel, I'm on the road, for hours and hours at a time. I don't really like to stop and sit down and eat. So those types of things are good for that. And always bottled water or unsweet tea. Okay, another question I get is, what is the difference between low carb and keto? And this seems to be a point of confusion for a lot of people because we see on our group every day people posting things they can be considered low carb, but they are not keto. And there's a difference between low carb and keto. Keto is low carb, but low carb is not necessarily keto. So one thing I see a lot of lately is that Halo Top ice cream. There is no commercial ice cream out there that is keto friendly. Is it low carb friendly? Yes. But keto is more specific. You want to keep it, no more than 50 total carbs a day, preferably 20 grams or less a day. And if you're just starting out and if you're very insulin resistant and you have a huge problem with being addicted to carbs / sugar, then 20 grams a day is where I would suggest you go. Keto is an anti-inflammatory diet, which means you don't eat foods that are inflammatory. Sugar is inflammatory. Halo Top ice cream has real sugar. Peanut butter has real sugar, unless you can find a brand that doesn't have added sugar. But even then, you still have the issue that peanuts and peanut butter are inflammatory. So keto's anti-inflammatory. Don't eat inflammatory foods. Wheat and grains have no place in a ketogenic diet. Can they be low carb? Yes, because there are those low carb, tortillas out there, and there are, other products out there that have wheat in them, Carb Quick, things like that, that if someone wants to, incorporate on a low carb diet, then that's their choice. That's fine. But those things are not keto. So if you want to be low carb and you want to eat real sugar and you want to eat grains / wheat, then be what you are. Say you're low carb. Don't say it's keto, because it's not keto. And I know that irritates a lot of people. Well, keto's what you make it. No, keto's very specific. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called keto. It would be called low carb. So there is a difference. There are some low carb, people that incorporate fruit other than berries in small servings because it fits their carb count or it fits their macros. Keto is not, if it fits your macros. It's not a eat whatever you want if it fits into the 20 grams a day. The ingredients matter. And the reason for that is that keto is not a weight loss plan. Okay, people usually go low carb to lose weight. People go keto to heal. Okay, it helps heal from PCOS. It helps reverse type 2 diabetes, and it helps bring down inflammation, and it helps improve insulin sensitivity. There's healing involved with keto, where there's some healing involved with low carb. But what happens with people who are doing more carbs than 20 grams a day, and people who incorporate peanut butter and wheat and real sugar, eventually they hit a stall. And usually, that happens because of the types of foods that they're eating. But the other big reason is because the amount of food we eat. So if the more frequently you eat and you're eating those things, it's gonna, it can cause a stall. So I don't want to get off track there, but there is a difference between keto and low carb. So if you want to be low carb, then be low carb. And and you can include all those things that aren't keto friendly and be low carb. And you can probably still, there's lots of people that lose weight on low carb. Healing is slower when you have those types of things. You might not see as a massive of improvement in your cholesterol numbers or in reducing your blood sugars when you incorporate those things, but you will see some improvement. You'll see the best improvement by being ketogenic. Okay, another question I get a lot is, I'm going to be with relatives who are not keto and they don't eat low carb. What do I do? Well, the simple answer to that is plan ahead. If you know you're going to be visiting relatives and you know they're not low carb, then you prepare to bring things that you can eat so that you don't have to worry about, going hungry. You could also offer to cook some of the meals and make keto meals. There's no reason why those, friends and family can't eat keto meals and then add their carbs on the side, like a lot of people do. So just planning ahead, and then you don't have to find yourself in a situation where you say, I had no choice. I was forced to eat mac and cheese because that's all they had. You always have a choice. As far as I know, when visiting relatives, grocery stores and restaurants still exist. If you're one of those people who doesn't want to hurt other people's feelings because that you don't eat what they make you, I'm just going to say you have to get over that. I mean, you either want results and you want health, or you want to people please. And while I don't want to be mean to people, I'm not going to eat something just to spare someone's feelings. I'll tell them, I really appreciate you making that. I'm sure you put effort into making that. I just can't eat it. But thank you. And however they deal with that or think about that is on them. It's not on you. You do not have to sacrifice your health or your goals to please other people. That's all I'll say about that. Another question I get. People ask about, being constipated and not being able to go to the bathroom for like 3 days. Well, my main answer to this is if you are eating well-formulated, low-carb, high-fat meals, first of all, you're eating less food. You're also eating real food. And so less food and eating real food equals less waste. If you eat processed food and you're eating 3 meals a day and snacks, well, there's still going to be waste. And depending on, and a lot of processed food can constipate you. So stick with real food and stick with, don't eat 3 meals a day and snacks. Eat less frequently. And eat real food. And it really is totally okay if you don't go every day. It's perfectly normal to not have to go every day. I think that we're used to going every day back from our carb days because we ate all day long every day. And of course, what we ate was not very good, so it produced a lot of waste. So don't worry about that. And if you do, if you do feel like you're constipated, you can always do magnesium citrate. That helps, keep things moving. Coconut oil will keep things moving. So there are solutions, but don't worry about it if you only go every other day or every couple of days. That's normal. Okay, so lastly, what I want to address is I see a lot of comments along the lines of, like I saw one this morning that said, don't let losing weight consume you. Have that burger, drink that beer, have that piece of cake. This kind of, thing, it makes me crazy because most people, okay, if you don't have insulin resistance and you just need to lose 10 pounds or, whatever, if you're a normal eater, which if you're a normal eater, you're probably not watching this video, you're probably not in the keto groups, you're probably not doing keto. There are some normal eaters, I will say, like those who are doing keto for epilepsy to control seizures, they're probably normal eaters, but they're not going to want to eat this stuff anyway because it's going to risk their health. So that is just phenomenally bad advice, in my opinion. We don't tell alcoholics, just, have that beer, on the weekend. And we don't tell drug addicts, that once a month party you go to, go ahead, indulge, have some fun, live a little. No. For those of us that are addicts and will spiral downward from doing something like that, that is just bad advice. It's not good health-wise, because it's really not good for us to be throwing our bodies in and out of ketosis. That's not healthy. Be in ketosis or be out of ketosis. Like, cheating and, having these indulgences are not healthy. It's not a good idea. And I see other people do posts about, hey, I cheated this weekend, but I'm not really considering it a cheat. It's just part of living this lifestyle. If I'm going to live this lifestyle, I need to be able to have X, Y, and Z. I think that those people are confused about what it means to live a ketogenic lifestyle. If you're living a lifestyle, that means you're doing things that meet those standards. My life has vastly improved because I went keto. Not only did I lose the weight, I feel amazing. I don't have to be on meds anymore for my blood pressure or for diabetes. My blood sugars are mostly normal. This is my lifestyle. eating a piece of cake in the name of living the lifestyle would mean I'm not living the lifestyle. And I think it's kind of, personally, this is just my opinion, I think it's kind of sad that so many people still place so much importance on food. I know what that's like. I'm not forgetting where I came from. Food was everything to me before. It was all I thought about. And if I had access to food, I would eat all day long. I was totally a grazer, but not only did I graze, I binged too, because I couldn't stop when it came to certain, types of food. So living, keto, like I wouldn't eat a piece of cake. That's not living keto. And that would destroy the good work that I've done. It would mess up my health. It would mess up my blood sugar. It would mess with my mind. I just can't go there. And I think most people who are like me, overcoming obesity, battling sugar addiction, what you need to do is stay away. Just like the alcoholic who quits and wants to improve his life, he's not going to drink every now and then, because that's life and you got to live a little. To me, living means being healthy, being happy, and being a normal weight. I don't, get entertainment or comfort or reward from food anymore. And I think if that's something you're still doing, you need to look at why. Food is not going to solve our problems. And, indulging in a piece of cake and drinking, non-keto drinks that are going to knock you out of ketosis and make you feel bad should, all that stuff should be avoided. So that's just my opinion on that. Of course, we're all adults. Everybody can choose to do what they want to do. But if you do these types of things, don't go, online seeking advice about why you're stalled, why you're not losing weight, why your blood sugars aren't going down. If you're not following the rules of the game, then expect to not get the results. We cannot complain about results we're not getting when we're not doing things the way that we should to get those results. Okay, hope everybody has a great keto week, and I'll see you next week for episode 13.